Hey now, cats, we're back again this week on the Balls from Ellwood show. It is the 4th of July, and I want to say happy day of our independence.
Happy Day of Independence. It is swelteringly hot here in western Pennsylvania, and we lack central air. So if you see my white snakish hair blowing here, the reason is we have multiple fans going. Because otherwise we'll melt and die, so here we are.
Yeah, you won't see my white snakish hair, unfortunately, but the mental picture that you don't want for today is the sweat running down my back and into my ass crack like Niagara Falls, and it's so hot. So be happy you are somewhere with central air, because we are not. So.
Yes.
But let's just get right into it. We got a great show for you this week, cats, at least in my opinion. So, I just wanted to start out with a little memorial for somebody that fell in our genre, and he was always I had a chance to see him a few times at some conventions. He was always a really nice dude, and I mean, how could you ever possibly think of Evil Dead 2 without this man? Danny Hicks, I want to say rest in peace. I don't know how many times I've seen Evil Dead 2, and I mean, it wouldn't be the same without you. And he's been in a ton of other films too. Why even bother going into it? He's just been an incredible genre actor his whole life, and he finally passed. I just want to say rest in peace, sir. Love you, Danny. Other than that, I'm still very excited. I'm on pins and needles there, Xtina, I have to tell you. As we get closer and closer, I mean, the corona apocalypse has destroyed every chance or every dream I've had of seeing, doing anything fun or seeing anything fun or going anywhere fun. So, but holding strong is in fact still Candyman and Halloween Kills are still coming out this year. I'm excited about that. Really hoping as we get down to the wire that doesn't mess up. I mean, we went to see Ghostbusters, the original Ghostbusters, at the drive-in last night. That was honestly the first plan that I've had that has not been destroyed by corona apocalypse.
Yeah.
And it was a great time for me, for sure, man. I mean, I felt like a kid again. Oh, that was probably 10,356 times I've seen this film, and it gets better every time. But anywho, we did watch some good stuff over the past few days. I wanted to talk a little bit about Danny Trejo. I've been trying to get him on the show here for a long time, but as you know me, I'm a squeaky wheel, and I won't stop until I get oil. So we did get to watch his new documentary, Inmate #1, and I have to say, man, I had seen Danny Trejo tell a story just very briefly on the Howard Stern show before. I was really into this film. It's a really great documentary. If anything, it's a really good inspirational piece just to see that shows if somebody really legitimately wants to turn their life around, they can.
And they will.
And they will.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd always thought the kind of rehabilitation's kind of a joke. I mean, because most people, they say they want to do it, but they don't really mean it in their heart. I mean, this shows in detail. It can be done. Right. If you put your mind to something and your will is strong enough, it's going to happen. And I mean, there's just a lot of stuff I didn't know. Man, he's got a hell of a life story, so I recommend it to the highest degree.
Just a great human being, So.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it came to be, man. If he didn't turn his life around, not to give too much away, but he just started caring about other people instead of himself. Right. And he's seen the error of his ways, and he changed things, and if it wasn't for that change, he wouldn't be the star he is now, because that's in fact how he became famous.
Right.
He started doing all these nice things for other people, and then somebody took notice and said, hey, you need to come down to this audition, and the rest is history. So, I mean, just goes to show you, I mean, I'd always thought, like I said, it can't be done, but this
apparently
in fact proved me wrong.
Yeah.
So
inspirational dude.
Other than that, I got some interesting news on Twitter. It's a little cryptid, but now it is in fact solid. When I was a kid, you know how much I love Joe Bob, but he had a show on TNT called Monster Vision, and it was much like The Last Drive-In is now. And if you go on YouTube, I mean, there's really no way to see it other than if you go on YouTube and see like 3rd, 4th, 5th generation VHS clips, and it's really shitty quality.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, apparently they must have took notice because people's been putting these bootleg copies of this show out and selling them for big money, like $100, $80. So he finally took notice and he said, hey, listen, if you wait a few months, you probably could see an official release of all that stuff and not have to go through these bootleggers. So what it's going to be, I don't know exactly. Obviously, with the rights of film, it's probably not going to be accompanied with the films, but you're probably going to get to see all the commentary in between. And so that's good enough for me, man. I'll be picking that up. I got some, other than that, exciting news on the Netflix front, man. One of our favorite shows left YouTube, got picked up by Netflix, season 1 and 2. And season 3 is going to be coming out later this year. Xtina.
Cobra Kai, baby. Cobra Kai.
Sweep the leg, baby.
And here's what's going to get me. And mark my words. If y'all haven't watched Cobra Kai yet, because you're snoozing and losing, and you guaranteed, as soon as this thing pops up on Netflix, it's going to be like number 1, number 2, and everybody's going to be like, oh, I got to watch this Cobra Kai show. It's like from Karate Kid. Oh my gosh, have you seen this? And I'm going to smack every single one of you people that do that, because nothing infuriates me more when people act like a show is brand new that isn't, because you were late to the freaking boat. So that's all I got. Anyway, in your face. Watch Cobra Kai.
That's right, Daniel-san. Wax on, wax off. Well, anyway, one more thing. We actually have a pretty jam-packed show here, so I'm going to get to it, because Xtina this week is back with an all-new Xtina's Depravity Corner. We got an incredible big interview with Kill Lincoln, one of my favorite ska punk bands right now. In fact, I wanted to take this time real fast. I need you guys to check out Bad Time Records' website. I'm going to put a link up. Because right now, I think there's only one press of this first. Their new album comes out soon. There's only one print, and there's a bundle, and there's only about last time I talked to Mike Szynski, lead singer, probably about 50 left. So if you don't act now, you're not going to get this bundle. This bundle's sweet, man. It has, you have their new. You get a vinyl pressing of the new album in August. You get a digital copy of the new album in August. You get it's a tribute to the old Alp Ivy Energy cover T-shirt, where it's the black and white logo, but it's Kill Lincoln, which I think is pretty sweet. You get a enamel pin. You get some sort of booklet.
Jeez.
And they even come to your house and give you a hand job.
No, they don't.
No, I'm just kidding. The last part they don't, but...
What am I going to do with this guy?
But anyway, make sure you go on Bad Time Records, order that. I mean, it's the first single was on It's Killer. We talked about it last week. Check it out, cats. But let's just get right to the part of the show that everybody loves. You know her. I love her. In fact, I think you guys love her more than me even sometimes. So let's just get right to it. Xtina.
Yes.
Let's get to this Depravity Corner this week. What is the most fucked up story that you've heard this week?
Well,
I mean, living in this day and age, how can you even determine between one fucked up story to the next? There's so much to choose from.
So much to choose from, and this is a very sad one. Very sad. Oh, have you Balls doesn't follow much news,
nope.
But I feel like everybody has seen this girl's picture by now, surfacing the internet, because she's been missing now for 2 months. A beautiful young soldier out of Fort Hood, Vanessa Guillen, I want to say, a Hispanic girl. I can't really show you that, but that girl there, have you seen her?
No.
She's been going around. Okay, well, anyway. She is an Army private out of Fort Hood, and she's been missing, 20 years old, been missing for 2 months now. And it just seems like, it kind of got swept under the rug, sort of. I mean, I guess they're, okay, sure, we'll search for her, whatever, but it didn't seem like much was being taken super seriously. So it was very frustrating for her family, and of course, the Army doesn't want bad things coming out of their, their Army banks or whatever. Nobody wants that. Of course not. You don't want a bad reputation, but bad shit's gonna happen everywhere. It doesn't matter if you're a soldier or not. I mean, it's a damn shame, but it's the truth. So the story is that this young Vanessa she worked in an armory, which my understanding is a
weaponry,
place, right? Where they keep guns, and weaponry. So, and her superior a gentleman, I'll use that very loosely, by the name of Aaron David Robinson. Was, I guess, her boss or supervisor, what have you. And he was sexually harassing her. And she didn't, want to make a big stink about it. She did tell some friends and some family. And they kept telling her, you should really report this to the, people. But, as a woman in the military, you're kind of like, your odds are against you. And, it's the boys' hood, if you will. And so she was, he was a superior, so she's like, nobody's going to believe me, and they're just going to say, making it up, blah, blah, whatever. So she was very hesitant to say anything officially, I guess. And so, unfortunately, she very much should have, because what happened was 2 months ago, she was called into work by this Robinson, and she was never seen again. Apparently, there's been footage found of her walking into the armory, and him coming out at some point with a huge, heavy, thick plastic, like, I guess, gun case, essentially. They call it a Pelican case. I guess that's the brand name. And putting this in his car. And then that's been that. And she's been missing ever since. So what exactly happened here? Well, we've come to find out that Mr. Robinson had another buddy, a chick who I believe he was having an affair with, who helped him take care of Vanessa here. They bludgeoned this poor girl to death in the armory. And I think he did it, from my understanding, and then put her in this case, and then took her elsewhere to meet up with this other chick, the one he's having this affair with. Her name is Cecily Aguilar, 22 years old. Now, she was not in the army, but she was the estranged wife of an army guy. So apparently she was having an affair with this Robinson dude, is my understanding. Who knows what he was telling her, but he killed this Vanessa girl. He needed her to help him dispose of the body. So they dismembered this poor Vanessa girl, and I guess they put her back in this case and attempted to burn it, which it did burn partially, but not completely. So then they dug holes and tried to bury her. Ultimately, this all got found out, and cops went to arrest Mr. Robinson just a few days ago. And so this is kind of a top breaking news story. Went to arrest him. He come out with a gun and ultimately shot himself dead right in front of the police. Yeah. So nothing says guilt to me, more like taking your own life. So there you go. Now, we did arrest his partner in crime here, this Cecily girl. So she is now arrested and facing, I guess, accessory to murder charges or dismemberment charges, or I don't know what all exactly works. I mean, I'm glad that the family has some sort of, whatever, but I don't know how true this is, but this is really where things get super messed up. They've been searching, been wondering what happened to their beautiful family member. They found out on the news. The Army did not have the decency or was not timely enough to call the family before the media got a hold of it to find out that her remains were found. Yeah. So they found out on the news. According to what I heard on Nancy Grace. Now, again, who knows? Everything's a rumor. Nobody knows facts other than from the actual source, but sounds pretty legit. I mean, I guess her sister's been very vocal and been on the news, and she was very upset, and and I'm sure it came from her mouth, is my understanding, that they did in fact not hear this from the Army themselves. So, the Army's in some deep shit. Did you ever notice how many criminal acts seem to come out of Fort Hood? Like, I would have never heard of Fort Hood unless there was like a criminal act coming out of it.
Fort Hood's up to no good.
Exactly. So just, be careful. It's a shitty thing because, this girl, this was her dream. When she was 10 years old, she wanted to join the army. Who wants to join the army? And then not only that, you have a young girl and a young Hispanic girl that wants to go and fight for the country. You gotta respect that, man. And this is the treatment they get? Like, how does that... Who's gonna want to, I don't know. I'm not gonna go off and blame all bad things that happen in the services on, a few bad seeds. Bad seeds everywhere, as we well know. But it just sucks for, young people in general, especially young women and now young minorities, So just be careful. Rest in peace, Vanessa. You were a beautiful young lady. I really hope your family finds some sort of closure. It's going to take a long time because this is a very sad, tragic thing. I hope that Mr. I don't even remember his name now, is burning.
John Jacob Jingleheimer.
Yeah, he can burn in hell, and so can his cohort. Because they're just, lowest of scumbags of the earth. Just because a woman turns you down, it doesn't mean it's your right to have her, and it doesn't mean that it's your right to, then take her life from her. So, think, people, think. So anyway, that's enough depravity for one day. I think
you more than outdid yourself for not having one last week. Holy cow!
Yeah. Too sad. Don't want to go too further. And so anyway, folks, up next is Ball's wonderful, amazing interview with the guys from Kill Lincoln. It was a lot of fun. I was eavesdropping a bit. Probably should have joined in, but a girl's got to do what a girl's got to do, and this girl wasn't doing all that crap that day. So here you go. Balls, would you like to take it away and introduce the guys?
Yeah, I had a great interview with Kill Lincoln, as Xtina said. I'm really super proud to present it to you guys. We had a lot of fun. Talked about the new record. Talked about all kinds of stuff, man. But anyway, go on to Bad Time Records. Not only is Kill Lincoln on there, you'll have excellent bands like Omnigone, Cat Bite, and much, much more, man. So check them out. One of my favorite record labels in a long time. Mm-hmm. They cater to things that we like to hear, like ska, punk, metal. That's what we like, man. So let's check out Bad Time Records. I'll put the link up. And other than that, hope you enjoy this interview with the boys from Kill Lincoln. So till next week, peace and love, peace and love.
Peace and love.
Now, cats, we're back again this week on the Balls from Ellwood show, and with me, I have, holy shit, I have most of the guys at Kill Lincoln, and I'm pretty fucking excited about it because I feel they're one of the best fucking modern ska punk bands in the fucking universe, so I just have to tell you, listening to Kill Lincoln, what the fuck's wrong with you? So hopefully after you hear this interview, that'll change, because we got a lot to talk about. I'm going to get right into it. First off, tell me where'd you guys come from, man? Where are you from?
I'm in California right now, but we all met in D.C. Kill Lincoln's a D.C.-based band. We all met a long time ago in D.C. But I'm in California at the moment. Drew, where are you at?
I'm in Baltimore, Charm City, Maryland.
Yeah, and I'm in Providence, Rhode Island.
So we're all kind of split up all over the place right now. Yeah.
So you're all split up now because of the corona apocalypse.
Pretty much, yeah.
Mike had to get away, and he just went all the way out to California.
Yeah, I wanted to get as far away from them as I could. I just couldn't risk it.
Well, let me ask you this: how did the band come to fruition? Like, how did you guys come together? You said you were from Washington. Did you guys go to school together, or did you have a crocheting class together? How'd that happen?
It was crocheting class. You nailed it, Balls. That was it. So, I mean, it started, I think the band is over 10 years old at this point. I was in school in D.C. I met some of the guys. I've actually known Drew since Drew I've known Drew longer than anybody else in Kill Lincoln. We rolled together in the New Jersey ska punk days. Drew used to book my old band, my high school band. So we were good friends back in those days. But Kill Lincoln started in D.C. with a couple guys I knew from school. Tyler, I met through a message board, through Streetlight Manifesto message board, and I was like, "Hey, you're in D.C. too. Let's meet up. Let's jam." And the rest is kind of history. We met CJ along the way, and CJ filled in on bass for a couple years, but now he's full-time member. Yeah,
Nice.
just been rolling from there.
Where did the name Kill Lincoln originate?
That's all Tyler, who's not on the call. But it's a reference to Fast Times at Ridgemont High. It has nothing has nothing to do with President Lincoln
you
or
cut off
killing
my
him.
whole spiel about it being a nuanced socio-political commentary on the history of the United States and the modern Republican Party. But yeah, it's just a movie quote.
Or that, yeah. Yeah, it's a movie quote. That was all Tyler, our drummer. He I guess he's a big Fast Times fan, and I can't come up with names for stuff to save my life. I'm terrible at it. Ask these guys about like song titles and shit. Like I can't. I'm
Taco Supreme.
Yeah, Taco Supreme. We have a lot of temporary working titles for stuff, and when I can't think of a name, we just use a fast food item. So we've had Taco Supreme, McFish, or some other ones. I don't know.
Well, Ken Riffy Jr. was.
Ken Riffy Jr. was.
I
Yeah, that's not a fast food item, but that's a good one.
Well, it all depends. If you're a cannibal, it might be. I mean,
Oh,
Yeah, true.
that's a good.
hey, were
one,
you
Bob.
guys always in the ska punk? Like, when did that come about in your life?
I heard the impression that I get on the radio. I remember when I was like a kid, I was going to somebody's birthday party. We were seeing George of the Jungle at the movie theater, and that song. I heard the song before, but then I heard it again and for the second time on this car ride, and I was like, "Oh my God, this he captured me like nothing else." And we were late to this birthday party, and I got pissed that we were going to this birthday party when the song was still playing.
You did not want to see George of the Jungle.
Yeah, the song is still playing, and it's in those days you don't have a tape, you don't have a cassette, you just gotta wait for the radio to play it again. So I think that was the first time I really got hit.
I bet you feel foolish now because George of the Jungle was now a American classic, and
They show that in film classes all across the country.
they showed Brendan Fraser's codpiece to what you put together like uniform shit from movies.
Oh man.
by my decision.
I guess I came across Scott in a similar way. I think my aunt gave me a Smash Mouth tape, okay, when I was, I don't know, when that first Smash Mouth record came out, and I loved it. I don't know if you've ever heard that first Smash Mouth record, but
I've heard it.
it's ska punk. It's excellent ska punk.
I think a lot of people don't realize that they are.
Oh, yeah, that record's so good. And I would listen to it all the time. And I was like, I don't know, like 11, 12, 13, I don't know what. And I would listen to it, and I really liked it, but I didn't know it was like ska punk. And then I got an X Games compilation, and Impression That I Get was on it. And I was like, wow, what is this? And I started to make connections and look up the boss tones and all that stuff. But yeah, I think CJ, you've got the most diverse musical taste out of all of us. So I want to know where you got into ska.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was probably just one of those random things of being a kid and playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater, and Goldfinger Superman was on there, and you start the level, it's like and then you're just like, whoa, this is fucking awesome. Yeah, I want to hear more of this stuff. And that was it for me, just playing Tony Hawk. And
it amazes me now that how many people were influenced by that game that got into ska from Tony.
Ska and AFI. When I think it was Total Immortal that was on the track.
Yeah.
Either that or like Fall Children or something. I was just like,
Tony Hawk got me into so many bands. Yeah,
I'm pretty excited for the remasters coming out soon, man.
Yeah, should be awesome.
They secure every single track but one, so I mean that's pretty good.
Which one didn't they get? Do you know?
I can't remember. I'd have to look it up, but it was. I seen it. And I was just like, yeah, okay.
Psycho Vision better be on there. No,
everything's on there. That wasn't it. Man. Trust me.
Okay.
It was something I was like, man, whatever.
Yeah, that's fine.
You guys ever play the Dave Mirra games?
No.
They also had really good soundtracks. Maxwell Murder was on that.
Nice.
It was on par with the Tony Hawk soundtrack.
Nice. Yeah, I was a Tony Hawk kid, so I remember like hearing New Girl. I was like, I gotta
Oh,
go.
yeah.
I went
Yeah.
out to like Tower Records and I got like the best of the worst of the Suicide Machines or
Oh,
something,
nice.
whatever that was, and I was like, that was it. I was in.
This is it. Yeah, this fucks.
Yeah.
Speaking of music, what was the definitive moment where you guys knew you wanted to play music for a living?
Well, look, okay, so I'll say like playing music for a living now, like we don't actually like we all have jobs too, which is crazy. Because I don't think it's not super sustainable to like try to make a living playing music now, which is just like something that I think a lot of younger DIY bands go through. So yeah, we all
Huh.
work jobs, but I know I wanted to play music for the rest of my life for sure. Very early on, I played in a band in high school, and we did a lot of like cheesy stuff. We did a lot of covers, but we played a couple ska songs, and just playing live, like I knew I never wanted to stop doing that. So it was really early on for me.
Yeah, I'd probably say me too. I played music. I played like violin as a kid, which was like all right. But as soon as I
Lame.
started playing guitar and like playing in bands and stuff, and just there's something about getting on stage and playing songs in front of people and feeling that energy that's just like, yeah, I can't not do that.
It's addictive.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it's not. Like we said, Mike said, we don't make a living, but it definitely keeps us alive.
Mm. Yeah.
And the older we get, and the more stuff happens that we got, responsibilities mount up and life changes. Even more and more, you appreciate those moments where you get to go out and share music
That's true.
with people.
And that's something that money can't buy, sir.
You got it.
True.
I would say I spend more time on this band than my actual job. So, I wish I was making a living from it, but
I wish I was making a living on talking to cool people like you too, but unfortunately, I have to still go and lift furniture every day.
there you go. Yep, same
sucks.
deal. Yep.
Let me ask. We had talked about Tony Hawk's Pro Skater as a soundtrack and stuff, but can you think of that first album that motivated you, like musically, that it touched your fucking soul, man?
Mm.
Keysby
Yeah.
Nights.
Keysby Nights is a huge one.
We're from New Jersey, Mike and I, so
Yeah,
yeah,
got to see.
too.
Yeah, we got to see a lot of Catch-22 back in the day. I have a very, very visceral memory of me and my buddy Jesse, Jesse's our merch man. He travels with us sometimes, and he's one of my best friends from going way back. We spent a weekend. It was like a school outing. It was actually an Odyssey of the Mind thing. Do you guys know what that is? All right, I'm not gonna get weird with you. It was weird. You had to do like improv and stuff. Another conversation. But anyway, we spent a weekend in this like college dorm, and we're these like middle school kids, and all we did was listen to Keysby Nights, and we like taped it, and we just kept listening to it like other kids were probably.
Wait, was
like,
this one of the
partying.
planned activities? Like, okay, here's the
No,
Keysby
it was
Nights
like here, go to bed, and all other kids were partying. They were like going hanging out with girls, and me and Jesse were listening to Keysby Nights all night. So,
Was there interpretive dance to like a 9mm and a 3-piece suit? Like,
oh yeah, there was the whole thing. Yeah, we had a whole routine worked out. So
I'd like to see that someday.
yeah, so that's a big album for me, Keysby Nights for sure. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about some of your musical influences. I mean, you guys are surely ska punk, but I mean, there's so many other layers to you too. Like, where's it all come from?
Yeah, I mean, I listened to a lot of like metal growing up. So like Megadeth's Rust in Peace. The first time I heard that album, Marty Friedman's like guitar playing just blew my mind. And then I got into some of like the heavier stuff. I was into like really into some of the more like Opeth or something like that. Was a big one for me. But then I don't know. I listened to a bunch of weird stuff from like Slavic folk music to jazz and
Anytime
like,
CJ puts
Italian
on like,
pop from the 50s.
yeah. When
Yeah,
put
don't
on
hand me the AV thing because it's
Yeah, he puts on like Mars Volta or something. And I'm like, turn that off.
Oh, Mars Volta's come on.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely liked ska punk early on, but just growing up in New Jersey, like there was a lot of like awesome shows, awesome fests, like Skate and Surf Fest. I get exposed to so many cool bands, like I get to see the Movie Life, or bands like
Nice.
The Used and Taking Back Sunday and Kid Dynamite, and So I really got into hardcore and that fast pop punk. I like all that kind of stuff. Like a band like Set Your Goals was like really did a lot for me because I was like, wow, they're so like positive but heavy but like fast and fun. I really like that. Yeah, there's like Title Fight. I love that band. Like that they can be like emotional but like have like breakdowns and just also be kind of fun. I kind of like that. It's kind of like ska should be fun music. Ska punk should be fun music, but also like we like to get heavy and serious. So I like kind of balancing those things. So yeah.
I mean, definitely New Jersey is if you want to be kind of well-rounded in like the punk, ska, hardcore scenes, New Jersey was a great place to grow up because
Absolutely.
it's the most densely populated state in the entire country. So you have shows everywhere all the time. The bands are, a lot of shows are mixed bills. You have New York City right there. You have Philly right there. So every tour is coming through.
Yep. And if you were a ska band in New Jersey back in the day, you had to try to fit in with the hardcore kids too. I think like Catch 22 really was able to like hang with that crew because they were fast and like they could like have the little breakdowns and stuff. And so like when I was in a band in high school, my band in New Jersey, like we always tried to like go towards the heavier stuff just so, the crowds that on the mixed bills would kind of be into it. So you really had to like, I don't know, you had to be like a little bit tougher. You didn't want to do like cheesy OC, like ska,
like
real big
Detroit
fish thing.
style.
You had, yeah, exactly. Like that's Detroit is like another spot where you kind of like, you mix that hardcore and like, it's got a grit to it. So that always appealed to me.
Let me ask you this: when you're putting together a Kill Lincoln album, where does the majority of your lyrical influence come from?
It's funny. I think a lot of sometimes it's rare when the lyrics come first. Honestly, I'm the kind of like writer where I just riff all the time. I'm just like trying to record riffs and songs and something that like sounds catchy. So I write a lot of ideas and then I try to like flesh them out. And for this record in particular, the new record, I think I wrote a bunch of ideas and Food, our sax player, flew out to California and we spent like a week just locked in this like dark dungeonous room, just like working out these songs and just like tightening them up and making them, sound like real songs. And then I kind of go back and I think about like things that are on my mind, things that I like to write about, things I write a lot of like, I journal, all that kind of stuff. So I go back to that and I see like, well, what am I thinking about? What would kind of fit the vibe of this song? And then I kind of go from there. So the music usually comes first unless I have like something really specific in my head for
You're super into numerology, right? The power of 8.
Oh, the power of there's an older kid. They're one of our older songs, Clark Gable. There's this line in the chorus where I'm saying "power of hate," and everyone thinks I'm saying the power of 8. And like my uncle was like, "Yeah, so the power of 8. You want to talk about that? Like, what's the power of 8?" And I'm like, "Power of 8? I don't know." It's just a little weird killing.
You should roll with that shit. You should come out with a book. And like,
the power of 8.
Like, power of 8. It'll change your life.
It's like a self-help book. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we could put it in the merch stand. Jesse could sell a bunch of those guys. I think it'd be great.
Wow, is your life total shit? Reach for my book, The
Power of 8.
Life changer.
1, 2, 3, 4.
If you have a wobbly leg on your coffee table, it'll go right underneath it. It'll fucking fix that shit. It changes your life, The Power of 8.
3 waves of ska. Power 8.
But you actually, that was a nice segue. I actually wanted to talk about the new single. I've listened to it all about 6,000 fucking times since.
So that's you. That's all the Spotify playlist.
No, actually, I bought it on Bandcamp.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
Thank you.
Awesome.
That's how much I love you guys. But I wanted to say, man, there was a little bit of a hiatus between the last record to this record. What was the reasoning?
I think
Mike, you've had some free time.
The reasoning's probably me. I mean, I think after we recorded Good Riddance to Good Advice, we had been doing a lot of touring. We'd been doing a lot of playing, a lot of practicing, a lot of shows, and recording that EP took like over a year. It was just because of our schedules and life kind of getting in the way. And right around when we finished that, me and my wife decided to move to California because we wanted a kind of a change in our life. So that put things in Kill Lincoln like on pause for a little bit. And I think there was a year, maybe it was like 2016, where we just like didn't do anything. I think maybe we played a show or something. And actually the time apart sort of really helped us like refocus, and like it re-energized us about the band. And actually that EP started to become really popular, and like a lot of people were listening to it. You know, it's over 1 million plays on Spotify at this point, and like it got us excited, and we were excited to see each other again. And you know, we went through a little bit of a lineup change, and you know, the guys in the band now are just like super positive, super energized. And then we just started hitting shows hard again, maybe 2017 or 2018. And I had a bunch of songs written, and we just started nailing them down, and said we got to get a new record out. You know, after doing all this touring again, we got to do something. So that was where the hiatus came from.
Let me ask you, what was the most difficult part of putting this new record together, and how does this record differ from past Kill Lincoln albums?
CJ, you want
to? Yeah, well, I mean, I can't really speak to how this one differs from the past record, since I wasn't really involved as much in the recording process for those. You
did the ones. Solo on Good Riddance to Good Advice.
That's true. That's true. That was
you were on that
Marty
record.
Gave me a Christmas present to do that one. So that was fun. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it. I mean, it's the elephant in the room, right? Is the whole coronavirus thing really, I think, gave us a sense of urgency when recording this record. Like we got to California to record the thing like right as everything was really blowing up.
Yeah.
And every single day, at least, especially in the early stages, every single day where we went into the studio, it was like, could this be our last day of recording? Could we, could they say that they're canceling flights back to DC? Are they gonna like shut down all business? You know, we had no idea what could happen. So, I mean, for me at least, especially tracking my parts earlier in the process, it was like, I really need to hunker down and get this done and really kind of like do justice to the songs. But also, you know, I don't have the time to sit back and be like, well, you know, should I really play this part? Or maybe I could add like a little chromatic passing tone here, or like maybe my feel was a little, it was like, no, we need to like Tyler, it's me and you, let's bang this thing out. So yeah, I think that for me at least really affected the recording process.
Yeah, it was a wild experience overall. And I mean, and to your original question, like the hardest part about making this record, I think like the distance. Like we're all like, I'm out here in California, CJ's in Rhode Island, like the rest of the guys are in the DC area, and you know, we can't just get together every week and practice like we used to. We can't just get together and jam on songs like we used to. So it was all like remote. Like I said, food came out and we worked on the songs, but you know, we sent it out and it was like, all right, everybody like listen and contribute. And then we basically spent a weekend just practicing the songs and demoing them. Like a weekend. We spent like, it was like 2 days just working on all these songs, like really working and like nailing them. But with months of practice on our own before that. And then 2 weeks later, we were in the studio tracking them. So, yeah, it's with the distance, there's a compressed timeline for where you can actually work on stuff. So we really had to plan it out. We had to schedule everything. And make sure it was all going to work, which was why it was so crazy when COVID started to hit, because it was like we're in the studio and like you said, CJ, like we didn't know when we were going to get shut down, if we were going to have to get out of there. It was crazy, but we got it all done, and yeah, worked out.
Before the corona apocalypse hit, when you're on the road, you're always up on each other, man. You're in confined spaces. How do you keep from getting on each other's nerves?
We don't. I mean, I'd like to shout out Drew. I think Drew is like, you know, he's not just a hype man in public. He's a hype man like in our life. He's a very positive source. And like sometimes after an 8-hour drive to a venue, you get there and you're like, okay, like I'm a little tired, but you know, we got to play this show soon. But Drew like rolls in the venue. He downs 2 beers and he's like, all right, let's go. Like he's running out hyping everybody up. Seriously, like Drew is a big source of positivity for everybody. So shout out.
You need that, man. That's good to have for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're lucky that we, I think for the most part, we like each other. You know?
Yeah, that too.
You know, that's very true. You know, not every band gets to be friends with each other, but we're lucky that We were friendly, and everyone's nice, and kind of there's a certain level of emotional intelligence I think that we all have, which helps out when you're going through tough times. But at the end of the day, we get to do our favorite thing in the world every single day when we're on tour. So that no matter what happens, no matter how much something sucks, like a drive or where you're staying or what's going on, you still have to go do you still get to go do your set, which is
you get the privilege of going to do your
Yeah.
set. It's like,
matters anymore.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Amen.
Let me ask you guys, tell me something about yourselves that would be surprising to any Kill Lincoln fan.
Oh man, that would be surprising to any Kill Lincoln fan. Shit, I don't know.
Yeah.
That I'm a human being with feelings.
That's a good answer, guy.
I don't know. Does anybody else have a good one? I'm kind of at a loss. We're pretty open about who we are.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
As a band and people.
I play classical guitar, which is a kind of a random thing that people probably wouldn't know.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and he plays it very well.
Nice.
I mean, I guess my job, I work on medieval philosophical texts written in Arabic and Persian, which is, I guess, like kind of a weird niche thing to do.
Those are all solid answers. That's what I'm looking for. Let me ask you this, guys. I mean, being in a band and all the responsibilities that actually go with it, has it ever put forth like a strain on your relationships, whether it be with your family, your friends, your loved ones, or potential spouses?
I say my wife is so supportive, and I'm so very lucky. I know it is a strain, like especially when we're going to go out and do a longer tour, or last year we went to Japan, and like that was a big trip, and recording for a week, a long time. I'm so lucky. She's super supportive, and it's never been a problem. She encourages it like crazy, so I'm very thankful to her. Shout out to my wife. She's upstairs right now. So. Not just saying that because she could probably hear me. But
I mean, you have to be with somebody that's supportive of what you're doing with the band. But if you have that in your relationship and you're with someone like that, then I think the lessons that I've learned personally through Kill Lincoln and what we get from the investment of time and work and passion that we put in is it kind of shows you what how rich you can really make something, because it's a relationship with Kill Lincoln, it's a relationship with Mike and CJ, just like it's a relationship with everybody else in your life. It kind of helps you keep I think front of mind a little bit to take care of every relationship you have and make sure you're doing your best for everybody, especially your partner.
So in a sense, it's like when you're with somebody in a band, you're almost marrying the band as well, or being in a relationship with the band. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yeah. Minus some of the touchy-feely stuff, but like, just a little bit. But I think I've multiple times I've said it's like dating somebody. It's like dating like six dudes. It's
yeah.
It's like truly like it's not to get all what's that show where the guy has like six wives or whatever. Anyway, not to do that, but yeah, you're really in a close relationship with everybody, and you got to treat it like that for sure.
Is there a song you guys ever get sick of playing live?
If there was, we would have gotten sick of it, because for the past 6 years we've been playing like the same set, which is why it's so exciting to have new tunes. It's so exciting to have this new record, because every single song in that record I want to play live. Like, they're so much fun, they're so fast, and like I don't know, they're gonna be so much fun to play live, so I'm stoked to play all those new songs. I don't get tired of the old songs, but I'm just ready to play the new ones.
Well, you asked before, Balls, about like what was different about this record, and we kind of answered mostly about the recording process, but I think there's a lot to be said about how different the songs are than other Kill Lincoln records. I think it takes a lot of the best of what people like about Kill Lincoln, and this is like the lyrics have never been better, in my opinion, on a Kill Lincoln record. The horns have never been better. The bass is phenomenal.
Oh man. Yeah.
I mean, everything is just fantastic, but the songs are they're different than what you find on a Good Riddance EP too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was like a longer. I think we really wanted to focus on like writing songs that we'd really enjoy playing live. So the songs are a little shorter. They're a little like catchier. Like on Good Riddance, we had some like 5-minute epics, and like you can't really play those songs live.
Which are
Like, yeah, they're great, good songs, but like we wrote them in sort of a not live environment. But these songs like really feel like they're really natural to the band and to what we can do.
The demoing probably helped with that a lot too, right? Like we were sending things back and forth and hashing out ideas, but then that weekend it was like, okay, what works and what feels good and what kind of flows with us all playing it together. And I think that it really comes through in what we made, at least for me.
I was bummed out to hear that, of course, with all the crazy shit going on, that your tour's canceled. But I've noticed a lot of people been doing a lot of like live streaming concerts and like these things where you pull into the drive-in. Are you guys maybe inclined to do any of that at some point?
Yeah, we're trying to do something fun for our release show. Like we did have a tour planned. We had like a 10-day thing planned. Our good friends Free Kick from Japan were going to come out. So we're really bummed that it got canceled. I see Drew's like, we don't even like talking about it because it would have been so much fun. But, we're going to try to do something a little different for our release show. It's going to be a live stream thing, but we're going to try to make it a little bit different than just me standing in front of the camera and just playing the songs. Like we're going to try to mix it up and do some weird stuff. So
nice.
Try to keep it fun. And then as the second we can, the second it's safe, like we'll be back playing shows. Like
you got to make sure you come to Pittsburgh.
Oh, we will.
Yeah.
We were supposed to. It was on the schedule, but we'll be back. A lot of
Just
fun.
don't forget.
Last
A lot of
time
answers.
There was like 5-cent tacos or something. It was 5-cent tacos, 10-cent wings. I want to say the Rock Room.
Yeah, the Rock Room in Polish Hill, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that place was sick. I love that.
You got to keep me posted, man. I'm gonna buy you guys a beer whenever you come.
Yeah, please do. We'll buy you 10.
Yeah, well, I'll buy you 25 fucking tacos. So there.
Well, there you go. That's how I
Like
negotiate.
$4.50.
I just talked you up to 25 tacos. I feel good.
I'm a shitty gambler, man. So you win.
Well, I'm a great negotiator. So.
Well, let me ask you, man. Have you guys ever had to play with a shitty band that were just like complete assholes to you, and how'd you get through it? Has anybody ever been a dick to you guys?
Oh, we've played with Really Fish before. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. They're actually super nice. I don't know. We've played with so many bands and so many really, 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 really nice bands. Especially a lot of like the older bands have been super cool to us. When we did that Skanksgiving show in New Jersey with Goldfingers, Suicide Machines, Big D, like Planet Smashers, they were all super nice to us. Like,
I love hearing that shit, man.
Yeah, Jay Navarro was like coming, like after our set, he came in. He's like, "Hey, nice job, everybody!" Like he's hanging out with us, and like, yeah, that was all super cool. So that's me focusing on the positive. Have we ever played with people who've been shitty? Like, of course. Like you're gonna play with like people who are assholes. But
how do you get through that though? Like that seems to me like it'd be tough.
You get to go in the van and make fun of them with 6 other people that feel.
Yeah, like 10 hours afterwards.
Yeah, you spend.
You have an 8-hour drive to get over.
Yeah, that's how you do it. We once played this show in Arizona. Where was it? Tucson, I guess. And the band that we played with weren't assholes, but it was at a dispensary, and which was already strange. And Drew, were you there for this show?
No, I was thinking. No, go on.
Okay. Well, but like it was so strange because like just nobody came to this show. It was I don't even think this place did shows, and but the band that played before us, like, one of the most miserable experiences listening to a band I've ever done. They did that what's that song?
All About That Bass.
All About the Bass.
Oh my
All
God.
About the Bass. But they tried to do it as like a metal song, so they were like, All About the Bass. No, Trip. And it was like, what am I doing here? It was one of those moments. Like,
And I think at one point, one of the band members opened up one of those like giant Diet Coke things and just
Yeah.
like poured it all over his body.
Oh man.
Luckily, it was Diet Coke, so it wasn't going to be like super sticky. But it was like performance art. Actually, it was pretty.
In a dispensary in Tucson, Arizona.
It was very avant-garde, actually.
Yeah.
They must have some good shit. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
helped.
speaks volumes of the product that they're carrying.
That helped a lot. Yes.
My show is primarily about ska punk shit we're passionate about, true crime, and mostly horror films. Are you guys fans of horror at all? And what's your favorite and least favorite films?
Ooh. Anybody want to take this first?
I like scary movies, but not alone.
True, fair enough. I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm a huge like. I do love like good classic horror movies, like the original like Halloween's, and I love The Shining. Like that's one of my favorite movies of all time. I'm not like I'm not into like big gore, like new horror and stuff.
No, not a big Hellraiser fan.
Not a big. Well, like, but there's like a classic, like the classic kitschy shit. Like, yeah, I love that. It's kind of cool. I think we played it when we played a show at a Great Scott in Massachusetts. They were showing Hellraiser while we were playing, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm down with this." But yeah, not a huge horror fan, but I like the classics. So,
I mean, I like it when they, it's got to be scary. That's good. But when there's a little bit of tongue in cheek to it, and it's like kind of campy, but not. It kind of toes that line between like I'm still sitting there like this, but they throw in a few winks at the audience to make me. I don't know, it's like a good death metal band, right? Like you're singing a song like Hammer Smashed Face, or like, you release an album called Tomb of the Mutilated, and it's the most brutal, crushing stuff. But at the same time, you're kind of giving a wink to the audience that's like, we know what this is like. Like Cannibal Corpse does it really well. Black Dahlia Murder is another one where it's just like, you get the best of both worlds. And that's, that's what keeps that stuff kind of fun. I'm not going to like name drop any movies because I'm not myself, but like
what are the movies?
I get a similar feeling from a good horror movie.
The best kind of scary movie I saw in recent years was Us. Did you guys see Us?
Oh, Us was amazing.
That was
so was Get
phenomenal.
Out. Oh, loved it. But we talked about movies you like now. What's like the shittiest movie you guys have ever seen? It don't even have to be horror. I just love hearing people's idea of what like the worst movie.
We all know this one.
Oh, we've seen Basketball. No, I'm just trying to talk shit. I'm a real big fan. What's the worst movie?
Oh man, have you guys seen that Netflix movie? It's like called like I think it's A Christmas Prince or a Christmas. One of those like it's a rom-com on Netflix.
Oh shit! Is that one with the? Is it a night before Christmas?
Oh, I saw that one too. Where
back in time and he
comes back. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, that was really
one where you're just like, dude, what?
I was just.
But the Christmas Prince, it has like a made up country, and the acting is like.
I know what you're talking about. I saw that.
And like, but it's not bad enough where you can like watch it and make fun of it. It's just something that you'll sit there and get more and more pissed off as it goes by. Yeah, I would not.
So it's not fun like The Room. It's just really fucking bad.
Yeah, it's not like The Room where you're like, oh, haha. It's just like, oh my god, what's going on here?
I was gonna mention The Room because as a band we're big fans of The Room.
Oh my god, dude, I love Tommy. I'm a big Room fan. Oh.
Yeah, we a bunch of us went to go see like one of the live showings in DC, and Tommy was there, and just like.
Dude, I've been trying to get him on my show forever. I can't get in touch with him.
That'd be amazing, though.
He's almost impossible to get in touch with.
That's crazy. You think he would be like out there like doing stuff all the time?
You would think, but like, nah, he's virtually untouchable.
I bet he's.
I even tried to get a hold of Greg Sestero, and that was pretty tough. He wasn't looking for it for sure.
I'm sure both those guys are tied up in all kinds of litigation and shit. That's
he was in one of the shitty Puppet Master movies. So from a he'd be like, "Hey, Puppet Master," and he was in the fucking Room, the greatest worst bad movie ever.
Oh god.
Like you could use a sample in your one song, I believe, right?
Yeah. At the end, get fucked 4 eyes. Yeah.
That's how I knew you guys were fans. What'd you think of the Disaster Artist? I thought that was pretty amazing.
I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was hysterical.
I thought it was hilarious. Yeah.
Mike, didn't you like major in film or something in college?
No, I didn't. Journalism.
Oh. That's just your job.
Yeah, no, it's just my job. I do video editing and stuff, and I am not a film buff by any means.
Let me ask you this: what's the weirdest thing you guys ever saw in an audience while you were performing? Weird shit ever break out, or?
Oh wow. Weirdest thing I ever saw in the audience. Drew, Drew, you got to have something for this because, like, Drew spends half his time on the stage and half his time in the air and the other half of his time in the audience. So you got to have something weird for this.
Oh, man, that's a great question. I feel like the goal is to get a little weird at all our shows. So the bar is already, like, kind of high for something to be noticeably strange.
Mm-hmm.
God, I'm not gonna be able to give you a good answer on this.
I think anything that's ever happened at the sidebar has been pretty.
We had there was one time we had a guy eat an entire pizza during dad fights.
Oh yeah. He ate
wind up space.
Yep. And Dad Fight's a short song. he ate a whole damn pizza during the song.
And that night,
on stage.
And that night, somebody was crowd surfing in a chair from a table in the back.
Bar mitzvah style. Yeah.
Yeah. That doesn't even stand out to me.
Yeah.
I think for me, like, one of the weirdest things was it was in Japan, and I have to preface this by saying that, like, the Japanese fans were, like, the most hospitable, awesome, amazing fans that I've ever played for. Like, nothing but positive experiences in Japan. But one show, it was just slightly, and this isn't even over the top, but every time I would go up to one side of the stage and I'd kind of, like, put my foot on the monitor to do like my little, like, Iron Maiden type of move, some of the fans, like, these girls would come and they would pull the hair out of my legs every time I put my foot up on the monitor, and I didn't know. I, like, looked down and it wasn't like, the look on their faces wasn't like I'm doing something really weird. It was just a totally normal, like, oh yeah, here's some hair, and they just pulled it out. I think it happened like 3 or 4 times throughout the set, and
it's wild.
Think of all the chicks over there that has a locket with your leg hair around.
I mean, I don't even have a lot of. I'm not like a super leg hairy guy, so they really had to try to find them. But yeah, maybe there's like a little.
Oh man!
Pocket,
Jesus. Yeah.
Well, that was good. Moving right along. Whenever you were performing, has any of you ever been, like, physically ill to the point, like, you're, like, almost ready to give up? Like, how do you soldier through an experience like that?
Wow. I feel like I've been, like, on tour, like, pretty, like, either, like, just sick or never, like, deathly ill, but, like, definitely sick from just being on the road for a while. And you just gotta do it. You just gotta. I mean, playing the shows energizes me, and I get enough, like, adrenaline that I feel like I can get through anything.
Yeah.
When we're doing a show, like, I could do that for a half hour, no matter what kind of state I'm in. But usually it's my voice that goes out first. But then I just yell things, or I get CJ to yell things. So, yeah. There was an experience where a previous member of the band had a very strong edible in Michigan, and by the time we got to Tulsa, the edible was still very strong. And as soon as this unnamed member started playing and sweating, it kicked back up, and apparently they had a very difficult time. So that was kind of funny. But,
no, Mike's right though. You can get through anything for, like, 30, 45 minutes. If you gotta do it, you just do it, and then, of course, pay for it later.
Yeah, you pay for it later for sure.
Well, I guess I should transition into my question I ask everybody, and you don't have to answer if you don't want, but if you did, it'd be great. So far, the winner by far has not been the throne Steve Jackson of the Pod Tasters. Have you ever had a good shit your pants story?
Oh, maybe. I have it's not related to Kill Lincoln, though.
That's okay.
Well, I didn't actually shit my pants, but I managed to get out of, like, a lot of school for pretending I shit my pants. Like, I guess in high school, I wanted to go hang out with my girlfriend at the time. So
How do you pretend you shit your pants?
Well, I told my course teacher, I was like, I took them aside, and I was, like, really embarrassed, and I was like, hey, I need to go home. I had an accident.
Like, they don't look at your ass or nothing?
And they were like, well, I think they were like,
Pull down your pants.
Yeah, if I had the balls to like to pretend like my pants were full of shit, they didn't want to question it. So they were like, "Oh no, like go home, get some new pants." So I was like, "All right, bye." And then I was like hanging out with my girlfriend all day. So that's, but didn't actually shit my pants. So CJ, you drink a lot of milk. You got to have a good pants
Oh
shit
no,
story.
it keeps me, nice and strong. The stomach of iron. I don't really
Actually,
shit my pants at all.
you do have a good shit story, but let's not get into it, I guess.
Oh yeah.
What?
Never mind. It's
Well, anyway, yeah, I drink a lot
we're
of milk.
getting weird.
Normally, it doesn't affect me. I try to drink like a lot of milk every day.
CJ drinks a lot of milk.
A bowl.
So your
of-
asshole's like a steel trap, is what you
Oh yeah, it's just like I eat a bowl of cereal with whole milk in the morning, coffee with a half a mug full of
I love that we're talking about this.
And then for lunch, I usually eat a bowl of full-fat yogurt. And then for dinner, if I'm really feeling it, then I'll have like some ice cream or tapioca pudding or rice
Dude.
pudding or something like that. And it just keeps,
I have to shit now that you're just talking about
keeps
it.
me strong.
I hate to say this, but with all the stuff going in there, what's your shit look like?
It's pretty good.
It look
pretty
like tapioca
solid,
pudding
good
or something.
color.
What the-
Like I measure it up against I forgot the name of the scale, but there's like the medical scale that people use to check for like consistency and color and everything.
Fuck. I'm putting you guys on mute. Damn.
All good, yeah.
You're pretty quiet, Drew.
DJ and I have opposing views of the dairy industry.
No, I don't support the industry. I think is like total garbage. I just like the milk.
No, Drew is afraid of dairy. A healthy fear.
Afraid of it. But I'm intolerant of it by choice.
Oh no, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Hey, what's your favorite city to play in thus far?
Favorite city to play in?
Yep.
I mean, I have to say DC and Baltimore are always fucking great. Our two hometowns. We're from DC, but Baltimore is so crazy. It's always like our second hometown. But I know Drew has some strong feelings about this too.
Well, yeah. I mean, besides home, definitely, the ones that come to mind are Detroit, Vegas.
Detroit, Vegas. Yep. Detroit's always awesome. It's not there anymore, but we used to play this place called the Rockery. Always fucking wild at that spot. It's a cool beer bar, like skateboard bar. Like, man, we've had crowds there are wild. So Detroit is always fun.
I feel like I used to feel more strongly about our favorite cities, but we've been on such a great run recently where every show everywhere has been phenomenal. We've been so long almost since we had a bad show that everywhere has been
Knock on wood.
fantastic.
I'll knock on wood for you. There you go.
And I think, and just to shout out, like some of the cities we played in Japan, like those are some of the craziest shows we've ever had.
Yeah.
The second show, Tokyo was amazing. The last show we played in Tokyo was unbelievable, but the second show we played
Nagoya, was it?
Nagoya was like, I'd never seen anything like it. It was like, like people were just like crawling on top of each other. Like it wasn't even crowd surfing. It was like all swim. It was crazy. It was,
Whoa.
yeah, it was wild.
Yeah. It was like on the 8th or 9th floor of a very tall building.
You could feel the building swaying actually when you were. It was,
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Really, unique experience that night.
Yeah, Nagoya.
There used to be a place in Pittsburgh that we'd go to, would pick up a lot of ska shows when I was younger. It's not around no more, but it was called Graffiti. And everybody packed in there and everybody'd start skanking. You could feel the fucking floor going up and down like this, man. And it was like the greatest fucking feeling in the world, I have to tell you.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
We've had some great shows in Pittsburgh too, I gotta say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, between the Rock Room and like
250
Ormsby
Ormsby.
and and we played we played that like hot metal Baptist church or something once. That was
No, that was the church, wasn't that
With
Mr.
Pat the
Small?
Pat the Bunny,
Mr.
Homeless
Smalls?
Gospel Choir.
Yeah, Mr. Smalls.
Yeah, Mr.
Yeah,
Smalls.
and they toured. They stopped doing shows for a while. I think they're actually open again. Well, they're not open.
Oh,
But
right.
reopened before all the bullshit happened.
Or was it
Yeah.
Rabada?
Oh, we played Roboto. Yeah, Roboto was cool. That wasn't Roboto that we're talking about, but we played Roboto. Yeah.
I don't even know if it's around anymore.
Yeah, no, Pittsburgh's great.
Yeah, always good time.
Is there anyone you guys look forward to playing with, and is there anybody that you would like to play with that you haven't had an opportunity to play with yet?
Oh man, we've been so lucky to play with so many cool bands, and like we've made so many friends. You know, like the best of the worst. We love playing with those guys, and you know, Catbite's always fun to play with. A lot of the Bad Time Family bands.
I love those. I love those guys.
Yeah, and bigger bands too. We've gotten to play with we've gotten to play with Fishbone and Less Than Jake,
Nice.
and yeah, the Slackers and Pie Tasters and all these bands. Like, there's a huge list of bands. There's one band on my bucket list. There's one band that I haven't been.
Barry fucking Manilow. There, you're really gonna say it.
It's Hank Williams the third. No, the Boss Tones. Never got to play with the Boss Tones. And
Seriously?
I love the Boss Tones. Never got to.
I
play
just
with
had Dickie on not too long ago, man. He's cool as hell.
Did you really? Oh
Yeah.
man.
I had Catbite on a few weeks ago.
Oh, give Dickie a shout, like for
Dickie,
for-
dude, he's
hit
like
us
he's
up.
been like an inspiration to me since I was in my teen years.
Yeah.
I'm an asshole now, so what's up?
Well, yeah,
He
love
was
the Boss
awesome,
Tones,
man.
So yeah, they're like my white whale. Honestly, we've gotten to play with so many cool bands, but it never seems to work out with them. So
I would. That would be a great show, you guys together.
Yeah.
You guys would actually flow good together, I think.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun. But what? Anybody else for bucket list bands or anything like that, or Drew?
It would be cool sometime to do a show with Catch 22 in
Hmm?
some regard, you know.
That's true. We played with Streetlight, but never Catch 22. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of us, we talked about Case Minutes earlier, but I think a lot of us also believe Alone in a Crowd is a fantastic Catch 22 album. I mean, because you talk about Catch 22, a lot of people just only talk about Case Nights, or you talk about Streetlight, and people only think of it too. But I think a lot of the Catch 22 members, I still respect and really appreciate what they put out besides
Absolutely.
Thomas, and that'd be fun at some point.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Anybody, CJ?
Pretty good. I'm pretty happy with our lineups we had so far. Every time we play with the great band, I'm like, yeah, this is fucking awesome.
We knocked a lot of them out at Skanksgiving.
Yeah, that was just-
Goldfinger
Yeah.
and Suicide
nice.
Machines and
Yeah. Couldn't really ask for a better lineup there.
What does people in society regularly do that pisses you off?
Wow, there's a lot of things.
Right off.
Well, yeah. If we're gonna stick just to in the music world, yeah.
Don't have to. It could be anything.
Oh man, we could talk for a long time. But yeah,
People
writing
that
off
drive
songs.
in the left lane when they're not passing.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that.
Dude,
Yeah.
Also,
Get off the road.
when people let their dog shit on the sidewalk and like not in the other area and they don't clean it up, or they do like the half-ass job where they like scoop half of it and there's still like all the residue. What? There's no need for that. There's absolutely there's no need.
Yeah.
You know? It's just so easy to just direct your dog over to the little grassy. And when it rains, it doesn't really fully get cleaned. And you just walk down the street and see the stains everywhere. It's just,
That's where you should snatch them up and just rub their face and go, see what you
yeah.
fucking
Look what you did.
did.
Apparently that doesn't work though on dogs. So
Yeah. It really, yeah, that's a bummer. It bums me out when people are assholes on the internet about
geez.
politics or about anything. It bums me out when people participate in systematic racism and perpetuate it. That bums me out. It bums me out when people are not cool to each other in many ways. So, yeah, everyone be cool. That's.
Dude, I never thought I'd see a day where I see. I never thought I'd see the day where I see like people that I thought I knew, and I thought I had a handle on, and they're uneducatedly fucking retarded. They're like, but don't even want to talk to them anymore. It's,
it's really a bummer.
it's a very sad thing for sure.
Everyone thinks they've got a platform, and
everyone's a political analyst now.
Yeah.
Everybody's a fucking scientist now. Everybody knows everything. It's like
Everybody studying ancient Persian texts.
yeah. Oh man, the comments you will see on Ibn Arabi's Futuhat al-Makkiyah is just like insane. People just read that text and think they know. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I don't think it's too hard to just go outside of your house and not be an asshole.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
like apparently the rest of the world doesn't feel like us.
Yeah, I just wish people would be good to each other. You know, try to not think about yourself for a second every once in a while. Just think about other people and be good to each other. So.
What do you feel people do too much of today?
Internet. Yeah, social media.
Complain.
Yeah, complaining, arguing.
Yeah, there's so much to be thankful for. Just even getting to have a conversation, the four of us today, and just waking up in the morning and being able to, tell people you love them. There's so much to be thankful for, so much that is good. And there's a lot to fight for, a lot of change, but you gotta start with gratitude.
I couldn't agree more, man. That's a great point.
Yeah. And there is a lot to fight for, especially right now. And there is a reason to be vocal. There is a reason to use the internet and use your voice to make change. But also, starting from a place of trying to understand each other, not trying to understand bullshit racists or Trumpers, but trying to understand people that are on your side, and
Yes.
try to and if we're working together to stamp that shit out. So that should start with some understanding.
If you could pick one TV sitcom to be a part of their family, who?
Cheers.
Why? Whoa. Holy cow! There was no thought whatsoever.
I'm just in the middle. I'm literally about to watch the finale of Cheers. I've never seen the show. I just watched the whole straight thing.
But you've never.
Straight
Oh,
through.
okay.
Oh, Cheers was badass, man.
I don't know what's gonna happen. Diane's back. I don't know what Sam's gonna do.
Spoiled it for me, man.
Actually, the joke. Oh, sorry, man. But the joke, I guess, with the band is so the band came out in March, right, to record the record, and after recording, I had just started watching Cheers, so we were we'd put on a couple episodes or whatever, we're hanging out, and now I'm just finishing it, and the record's just coming out, so it's that's the length of time it takes to get a record ready. It's 245 episodes of Cheers, so.
So next record, you just start Cheers again, and by the time it's done, you'll be ready to go.
There you go. Start the clock. And I always fall asleep by the third episode I put on, so that's my average. It's 2.5 episodes per night.
You need to get Quibi, man. Everything's less than 10 minutes. You can watch a whole season in an hour.
Oh, jeez. Sounds good.
A lot of content going in.
Yeah, a lot of content.
What's one thing that you guys can't live without?
Milk.
Most people say pussy, but all right.
Oh, yeah, milk. Oh, man, any type of milk. Goat milk.
It's music. It's music. It's got to be.
Oh,
It's music. I couldn't live without it. Couldn't do it. And I would especially say live music, too, which is why I'm really hoping we can get
You don't even, just from a fan standpoint, man, we would go to shit, man, probably 10 shows a month. That's live music is our life. And it's
yeah.
I understand from a performer's viewpoint, how tough it is to not be out there doing what you're meant to do.
Yeah.
And it's killing me not being able to go and see guys like you. So I can only imagine how tough it is to be confined and not out there doing what you do. So
Yeah, and I just miss the guys in the band. I miss these guys. Sharing the stage with them is it's the closest thing to a spiritual experience I'll ever have, I think. And I really miss it. And doing the live streams it's fun. It gives people something to watch, but it's there's just no there's none of that satisfaction from it. There's none of that cathartic show moment or being together. It's live stream's over, you shut the phone off, and it's well, what do I do now? I guess I'll, it's kind of weird. So we'll get back to it soon. Yeah.
In the Kill Lincoln world, a lot of our shows, there is kind of a community of fans, and when we go somewhere, there's either seeing, there's a network, and so it's not you're just going and seeing this band with a bunch of strangers. You're usually seeing this band with people that you know and that you keep seeing, that you build friendships with, and sometimes very, very serious friendships that last for years.
Yeah.
So that sucks, missing all that.
what's the craziest thing you guys has ever done on a dare?
Jumped out of an airplane.
Yeah, I just seen that.
Yeah. That's it. That's got to be it, right?
I don't think.
Drew,
I can really top that. Budget skydiving, I guess.
We were talking about that video. We were like, what do we do for the hype video? And Drew was like,
Mike was like, "Do you want to make fun of this guy skanking on YouTube?"
that wasn't my idea. But Drew was like, well, how about I just jump out of an airplane? And I was like, ha 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 ha, good joke. And then he went and fucking did it. So wasn't really a dare, I guess.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly a dare, but it was a dare. I dared myself a little bit.
Well, because you guys kept the rest of us in the dark, or at least I was in the dark about it. And then Drew, you started kind of sending texts that one day, and I was frantically sending them to my.
I think he was worried about dying and not talking to us. So he was like,
I didn't want everyone being like, all right, fuck,
yeah. He didn't want us to hear about
the
it.
ultimate act of publicity.
Yeah, it's like hype man dies in skydiving accident. It's like that's not.
Yeah,
what
but
he
you would
wanted.
forever be known as the best fucking hype man ever.
I think he is and should be. He did it and lived.
There you go. Don't say skydiving, but what's one thing you guys have tried that you would never try again?
Malort.
Oh yeah. Oh god.
You ever had Malort balls?
No.
It's a specialty liquor to like Chicago, Illinois, and everyone talks about it like, oh, you got to go to Chicago and try Malort. Oh, it's like drinking rat poison.
I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
Don't do
horrible.
it. It's not worth it. You could drink anything else.
Is it like syrupy, like 8-Ball, or like what's it like?
No, it's like turpentine. It's like very like potent, like almost like gasoline. It's like
Yeah, but it's not like that. It's like super alcoholic and it kind of burns on the way. It's the flavor itself is just like they took all the worst stuff in the world and just like mashed it in.
It's like Four Loko.
I would rather drink Four Loko any day than Malort.
You know that like shark from Iceland that's been like fermented in the ground and like I've eaten that before, and I would rather eat a whole like sashimi platter of that than drinking another shot.
Jesus.
I'll take the Malort.
Well, it's not that bad, yeah.
No, it really is.
It's pretty rough though. Yeah.
Unpleasant.
Can you guys tell me your least favorite band of all time?
Well, we've already talked about Real Big. No. It's called a callback, fellas. It's a callback.
I've been trying to get him on my show, and he's not interested either. So I'll take that. I'll take that answer.
No, I'm totally joking.
I'm kidding. I fucking love Real Big Fish.
Yeah.
We just went to see him
with
with Aquabats, not before all this shit hit.
Nice. Yeah, they have some.
Our last show was with them.
Yeah, our last show that we played was Really Fish and the Pie Tasters. It was a fucking.
Oh, that's a great line.
Yeah.
I love Steve. I'm about to talk to Steve.
Steve's the best. Steve has always supported us. He's always been super cool. You know, us being from.
Has he ever told you the human burrito story? I'm still disturbed. He told the story on my show once, and it was about how I ate human burritos unknowingly when they were fucking driving around one night to the show.
Oh my god!
If they feel like they walked into the you got to get him to tell you this fucking story.
Wow, I'll ask him.
I can't even do it justice. Just ask him to tell you the human burrito story. It's still the most disturbing.
Right.
I thought this was going to be like a fun like sleeping bag, like someone wrapped it up, and it's like it's a funny like tour sleeping.
Mummy bag guy myself.
No.
Jesus. Least favorite band though. It's got to be Stacked. Yes. I was gonna say Stacked Like Pancakes though. It's okay publicly.
That's a good one. Yeah.
We could talk shit about them, right? Like, yeah, that band fucking sucks. They ran $100,000 Kickstarter to make an album, and the album fucking sucks. They took everybody's money. Like, yeah.
Tell us how you really feel, man.
No.
Yeah, don't hold it in, man. I feel like you're holding back for me. You can say.
Oh no, I think this is like the safest band I could shit on. Like, they even feel bad about their record. The band quit. Everybody but the one guy quit the band because they were like, we feel bad about this, so goodbye. Anyway. That stinks. You shouldn't take people's money like that and not deliver. I don't know. It's shitty. They could have done a lot of good with $100,000, but they didn't. So. Anyway.
I guess you all feel that way?
Yeah.
It's definitely sublime for you, though, Drew.
I'm from their neighborhood or their area, Maryland.
No, oh, you're talking about Stacked Like Pancakes still.
Yeah.
I'm actually coming to Maryland for my birthday in a few weeks.
Oh, yeah? Where are you going?
Ocean City.
Nice.
That's like one of my favorite places, man. I've gonna go and hang out and have a good old time.
Awesome.
Nice, enjoy.
How far are you from Ocean City?
Pretty far. I'm in Baltimore, which it's crazy thing. It takes just as long for me to get to Asbury Park in Jersey as it does to OC in Maryland.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
I don't make it there that often.
Any other least favorite bands?
Not for me. I like bands.
I like bands. I actually, okay. I hate AC/DC. There, I said it.
Wow, really?
Why?
Yeah. I don't know. I respect AC/DC, but like,
Is it because all the songs sound the same?
I think it's
or what is
because like when you're a kid and like you're constantly listening to classic rock radio, you hear like the same 5 AC/DC songs all the time, and I just feel like I heard them all the time, and I can't stand it now. I like don't.
I know what you mean, man. We have this radio station. What the fuck is it? What's it called? WDVE in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, they were playing the same 11 fucking rock songs.
They still are. They probably still
playing
are.
the same fucking 11 rock songs like 30 years later. It's never fucking.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like what?
Well, I get it. Like I can see how you can probably almost get you to hate AC/DC.
Yeah, that's. I mean, that's it for me. That's why. Yeah, it just hurt him too much. Something about that band. I'm like.
Have you guys ever had a supernatural experience?
Ooh. I feel like I'm having one right now.
I don't think so.
Not really supernatural. I mean, a little natural, but not too.
Nothing too. Nothing to write home about. Nothing super.
Yeah, it's a little natural. You know, like you out in nature and it's super beautiful, and you're like, yeah, it's
Supernatural.
It's not supernatural. I mean, natural
think of
enough
something,
for
but
me.
Who's the coolest celebrity you guys ever met?
Bill Murray. I met Bill.
You met Bill Murray?
Yeah, I was working. I feel like everybody gets to meet Bill Murray at some point in their life. It's like
Not me, man.
he goes
Everyone
around.
gets
I want him to come do my dishes.
I was working this. I used to do like video. Oh, I still do video production, but I work for this company in DC, and we were working at the Illinois State inaugural gala when Obama got elected the first time, and I was just like in this backstage room because I was like running around like helping with AV stuff, and me and my now wife and my coworker were just hanging out in this like backstage room, and all of a sudden just in walks Bill Murray. He's just like, "Oh, hey guys, what's going on? I can I throw my coat in here?" And we're like, yeah, sure. And then he kind of like sat down and like talked for like a couple minutes with us. It was just like, it was nuts. I was just like, okay. And then he just left, and that was it.
The stories are true. I just watched a documentary about him just pretty much doing what you said. He just what happens just will go in somewhere and does, you know, he went into a party and he's in the kitchen doing the dishes.
I saw that.
Or like he went to like he like photobombed this person's wedding. He just does all kinds of wacky shit. I'm waiting
Unbelievable.
for my Bill Murray experience for sure.
It'll happen to
Biggest
you.
Ghostbusters fan. Oh my god! Don't even get me started.
Maybe that was my supernatural experience.
That should count, I think. Yeah. Well, I tell you what, man. I know you guys. Thanks for giving me all this time. I appreciate it. I got one more question.
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah,
Up
seriously,
here,
thanks.
hey, do you have any messages of hope for these uncertain times for all the fans out there? Supernatural.
Nope.
You're all
No.
fucked.
No.
Later.
No, like we were saying before, just, you know, a lot of shit is going on right now, and there's a lot of people and causes that need support, so support them if you can. And, you know, there's a lot of people doing a lot of good with donations. You know, Bad Time, we've been trying to raise some money for Black Lives Matter and a lot of other organizations, so do that if you can, but also just stay positive. Like, you know, we're going to get through this together. Like, but we got to work together to get through it. You know, we got to trust each other. We got to wear our masks. We got to be careful, and this will pass sooner if we all kind of like stay positive and trust, like trust the process, you know, like don't go rogue thinking you know everything. Just like trust the process. Let's get this done. But everybody stay positive.
Yeah, take care of yourself.
Well, thank you guys very much. I can't thank you enough for this opportunity. I am super excited for the new record, which I'm sure I'm going to be plugging the second it comes out and I can hear it. So,
yeah.
guys, I want to thank the guys from Kill Lincoln. Thank you so much. Peace and love, guys. Peace and love. Thank you so much.
Peace and love. Thanks
See
so
you,
much
balls.
for having us, balls.
Thanks.